Welcome to Destination Durham, a TV show that highlights the community spirit of the town of Durham, linking our past and exploring our future. Thank you for tuning in. Tonight's episode is going to feature arts and education in the town of Durham. We are very fortunate that we have strong arts programs at Regional School District 13, both visual arts and performing arts. And tonight, we will meet with several people to explain that to us. But first, I would like to thank the Town of Durham residents for your patience and your understanding during this very trying winter. Back-to-back storms have really taxed our resources, our personnel, and our emergency service responders. I want you to know that we understand how frustrating this winter has been, both for you personally and for us. And I want you to know that we promise that we will continue to try to make our roads safe throughout the rest of the winter season. And when the snow starts melting, we will be there to repair any damage that has been done and help everyone while the snow melts. So again, thank you for your understanding, and thank you to our personnel who have been working around the clock. Tonight we were hoping to have our band instructor, Dean Koutsouridis, and our choir director, Lisa Larson. But because of all the interruptions that this winter has brought for us, they were otherwise engaged. But we will highlight some of their performances in tonight's show, and we promise that in a future show episode, we will highlight our performing arts programs at another time. We are joined in the studio tonight with Christina Geary and Jan Wenzel. Christina has just finished her studies in art at the college level, and Jan is the arts teacher, the only arts teacher at Coginchaug Regional High School. Christina, you are a newcomer to the art world, discovering your interests late in life. Tell us about your journey into the art world.
Well, I began drawing in 2001, and that took place with the encouragement of friends and family. And I went from just drawing and sketching at home to taking a Middletown adult education class. It was a very good experience. I would encourage anyone who has any interest to pursue that. And from there, I went back to college and entered Middlesex Community College. And I decided while I was there that art was definitely going to be something that I wanted to pursue more than just as a hobby.
So you're trying to make a little bit of a living in the art world.
A little bit, yes. And I also had joined the Middletown Art Guild, and with their instruction, I also realized what my potential was.
Now we have some pictures of some of your works. We have what you call magnolias. Mm-hmm. You enjoy painting flowers?
Yes, I do. This was a lot of fun. I did this from life. I had set up the still life in my house, in my dining room actually, and it was very interesting to me. When I started to draw it, I walked away from the initial drawing and went back again about a half an hour later to realize that my drawing had changed. Mm-hmm. It wasn't as perfect as I had thought I had done it, just to realize that it was just the magnolias had opened.
So they say it's hard to work with children and pets, but even flowers can change
yes,
while you're doing a still life. That's interesting.
Yes.
Your second shot that we have is the My Toy Footbridge. Mm-hmm. How did you get inspired to do that piece of work?
That is from a scene up on Martha's Vineyard, and to me it was just a place where you could go and relax and just enjoy nature and the peacefulness there, and I hope that's what's captured in that painting.
Searching for hermit crabs, was that also done on Martha's Vineyard?
Yes, it was. My daughter was my inspiration for that one. As a child, I even remember just looking in the water for whatever treasures I could find, and it's just so typical of a child to do that and look for little creatures and things that move that won't bite.
That's right. Now, you also do homes. Now, this is
Yes.
another way for an artist to make a living. You can get commissions
Yes.
to paint people's homes.
Yes. I had been commissioned early on, really, in my pastel painting start, and it just was something that had taken place word of mouth. People would see my work and just approach me and ask me to do a portrait for them. The one that you have here was someone who had seen my work and just loved it and just had asked me, could I please paint the house for her so she could give it as a gift for her husband.
What a validation for you as an artist that
Yes.
somebody appreciates your work.
Yes.
That's great. Now, you're also a mom of children who went through Regional School District 13. Can you give us your impression on the art curriculum that was available for your students, for your children?
My children, I could see them progress throughout the years while they were in school, from the earliest stages of kindergarten and then through middle school, and then also at the high school level. My daughter is a student of Jan's, and she's just blossomed under Jan's instruction. And she comes home with some amazing pieces of work that are imaginative and so creative. I just wish that even as adults we could be as creative as the young children in our community.
Jan, what is the curriculum? What is the curriculum at the high school, and what are the different classes that you teach?
Well, our curriculum is actually pretty broad in that we offer drawing, which is the foundation of all the other classes, design, painting, printmaking, which is taught as one course, pottery, ceramics, and that includes throwing on the wheel and hand building. And then just 2 years ago, we introduced a graphic design class that is team taught between myself and Larry Gechter, who's the tech ed teacher.
That's amazing that we offer that many different medium with one teacher. That's amazing.
It is.
That is really amazing. When a student comes to you and says, Miss Wenzel, I love art and I want to study art in college, how do you help them prepare for that? What does it actually entail to apply for an art program?
Well, if you are going to need to prepare a portfolio, it entails quite a bit. And the sooner that they talk to me about their interest and what they hope to do, the better. A portfolio is comprised of 15 to 20 pieces of a student's best work. And to put together a portfolio in addition to the regular college application and essay and all those things that go into your presentation to a college, to put together the portfolio takes well over 100 hours. I mean, and that's just a ballpark. Most of the students, and we had 6 of them last year that went to art schools or schools in universities, art schools within the university system. Those 6 students, excuse me, had most of them had some support outside the educational system in Region 13.
That's just something that we can't totally provide our students with our limited resources.
We don't have the levels of classes that they need.
Okay, so they'll have an exposure, say, to pottery, but they won't have advanced pottery. Or they'll have exposure to drawing, but there's not advanced drawing.
Right.
Okay. So how do students seek out that enhancement programs typically?
Many schools do offer summer programs, Saturday classes. Last year, for instance, we had one young lady that went to FIT, Fashion Institute of Technology in New York, and she did that every Saturday.
Wow.
She also, and this was through the, I think this was through the guidance department, was able to hook up with an internship at Nordstrom's. She's very interested in fashion. Recently, this past summer, one of my students who was applying to an art school, she took a 2-week course at New Hampshire Art School. So there's many different, we've had 2 students that have gone to Pratt Institute for the summer.
Wow.
You know, it's an opportunity I wish every student that was interested in going into art, you know, was able to have, but it's, you know, they're very pricey programs. So I really try to support the students as much as possible within the school system too. And I mean, that is kind of my personal mission, because, you know, it's just wonderful to see them grow and expand and produce the work they're doing.
Well, in a little while, we're going to show a packet about the art club.
Okay.
And so now, is that something that helps the students do extracurricular type of work that would help create a portfolio, or is the art club kind of just for fun?
Well, there are basically two kinds of students that tend to go into the, you know, join the art club. There are students that are very interested in pursuing art and use that time for their individual projects and individual assignments that they have set out for themselves. And they need actually very little direction from me during the art club time. The other the other student that would be interested in art club really wants to expand their, you know, their knowledge base of art, work with materials. Sculpting is very, very popular in during the art club sessions. And David, my husband, David Wenzel, he actually comes in on Wednesdays and works with this material called Sculpey with the students. And that's just been a real delight for, first of all, for me, because we have sometimes upwards of 30 kids in there. And
Wow.
And also just to introduce this medium of this sculptural medium, which is a kind of a plastic sculptural material that's used in movie making a lot. So we kind of make that connection. I'm always interested in showing the students how the arts work.
Well, let's take a look at some of the work that the club does.
Okay.
Sorry, here's a
Cock and Chug, we have actually 5 classes that are available for students. The 2 foundation classes that are available are drawing and design, and then the students have the opportunity to take paint printmaking and ceramics and pottery, which are together. And within the last couple years, we have introduced graphic design, which is team taught between myself as the art teacher and Mr. Gechter, who is our technology tech ed teacher. So all courses are 1 semester, and we offer 1 level of each course. I would like to, in the ideal world, have, and I think the students would like this too, is the opportunity to have more than 1 level of each course. So for instance, they can take drawing, and then after the drawing semester is over, many students will come to me and say, what do I do now? Can I take drawing again? Can I go to, you know, is there a drawing too? And larger school districts are able to offer that. We are not, you know, in that position to offer it, so we do find a way to accommodate those students that are really interested in moving on with their artwork. Last year we had 6 students that actually applied and went to an art school or into an art program. That was 6 portfolios that those students had to prepare. And that was quite phenomenal for a school our size. I do feel it's a very important part of a student's or a person's knowledge base. Again, not only from the expressive standpoint of getting to learn about yourself, getting to use another part of your brain or other parts of your brain. I talk to my students a little bit about the biology of how the brain interacts when you are involved in an art activity. And also, another very significant aspect of arts is the cultural aspect. We're becoming a much more global culture, and understanding people through their arts, through the arts that they've created, and history through the arts. Because in many cases, the way we understand or interpret history or learn about different things that happen and gather more information are through the arts or the artifacts that cultures have left behind. So ideally, I think it really is a wonderful thing that if everybody could have at least one visual arts experience, not only because of the world we live in, but because it is a very, very special kind of experience that you have with yourself. It's all open-ended, and you're kind of exploring, your own expression and your feelings and your emotions and your reactions to, your life. So it's just so open-ended, and it just leads, I think, everybody, no matter what age they are, to really think about their world in ways they have never thought about it before.
Great job by you and the kids at Coginchaug. We've talked a little bit about how there is a need for enhancement programs in addition to what we do provide in our curriculum at the high school and the lower grades. How can we provide those kind of enhancements as a community and possibly capture the older students who find out later in life that they have these latent talents that they would like to explore? How do you think as a community we might be able to achieve that?
Well, I believe already in Durham there are a couple of art classes being offered to senior citizens.
Yes, yeah, the Durham Activity Center.
Through the Durham Activity Center. And I believe, I know last year we did a senior showcase, which are the senior graduating students from Coginchaug, and we asked the senior watercolor class from taught by Alita Godelsky to come and join us for that night and put their work on exhibit also. And it was great fun. It was a wonderful experience for the students, and just really brought the community together. So I'd really like to see more of that happen, and I do think there are artists around that possibly could do teaching. When you take away the structure of the public education system,
Doors open a little wider.
The doors open a little wider. Okay, and there are many artists out there. Well, look at Terry Oaks Beret.
Right.
I mean, she's a wonderful teacher.
Right. Chris, what could we as a community offer to people such as yourself, again, who discovered later that you had some talent?
I found for myself, like I had said earlier, the Middletown adult education courses were a great place to start, get your feet wet, experiment a little bit. I know the class that I took touched on pen and ink, pencil, charcoal, and then finally when we got to pastels, it was just instant love for me. Yeah. So something like that, if the town, I know the town does offer adult education classes, and wouldn't it be great to offer a drawing class for adults? So that's one way. Another way could be to also have places where we could exhibit.
Okay.
I know also through the Middletown Art Guild, they offer exhibits and shows, and it's for anyone who's a member. So maybe the town of Durham could have something for its resident artists. And we know that there are quite a few.
So belonging to professional organizations or organizations with like-minded people is something that's helpful.
Right. I've also done fundraisers with a small group of artists that were all local. We all had a different craft, I guess you could say. And what we had done was we donated a part of the proceeds to the local food bank.
Oh, okay.
So something like that too, where that would just bring the whole community together and support not only the arts, but also those in need.
When I go to the Durham Fair every year, I always like to go into the personal craft tent, and I see a lot of, paintings, drawings, et cetera, and I do notice a lot of names that are from the Durham Middlefield area. So I think you're right that people are out there, but perhaps we don't have the umbrella,
Exactly.
that we need, or the structure to bring everybody together and give the support that we need. About a year ago, we met one time, I know you were part of that, and talked about the possibility of forming an arts commission or something similar that would provide that kind of support. Is that something that we should continue to pursue in your minds?
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely think so. I mean, you really do need a core group of citizens to come together and really to make things happen. I think that particularly in visual arts, people do tend to work in isolation, so they need that organization to bring them together. And then once you get the ball rolling, they play off each other's enthusiasm.
Well, one of the things that we hoped would naturally occur when we opened the Durham Activity Center was that we would provide a space. Space is at a premium in our town. Whether you're talking about sports or performing arts or visual arts or any kind of classroom activity. And I'm hoping that with the extra space that we have, that some of that will start happening. One of the other things that we thought about and talked about when we met that day was to provide counseling to students who might be interested in pursuing a career, internships, job shadowing, that type of thing. What, in your experience, and I know you work with the school system as well, what's your experiences as far as those kind of opportunities? Are there enough of those kind of opportunities for our children and maybe our adults who want to pursue? Like internships, job shadowing. Does David do that, for instance?
He has certainly had many students through the years come and talk to him about what he does.
Okay.
And he has, some have come back many times, and some have really, he has formed lasting, friendships with them. I have had students that have done that also. I think that as far as internships go, again, if you're talking exclusively about the arts, the internships many times I think would probably be more outside the community.
Gotcha. Yeah.
In that I don't know how many artists are actually, working in this in a situation where they would need an intern.
Well, one of the things that we've done with Destination Durham is that we've invited students to participate and allow them to not only be here in the studio with us, but to provide material that we then show. And we have a little packet of a show, part of a show that was highlighted on Channel 30 about the TV production club that is working with us. So let's take a look at that.
And that's what's different about, your other classes, is that here it's all up to you.
Students in the TV production club at Coggeshall Regional High School are learning about the world around them in a different way.
It's definitely more hands-on, and it's more fun than a lot of the other classes. You learn quicker, and for me, it's easier to learn.
Trading pen and paper for cameras and computers, their work comes to life on screens and monitors.
And when they start to get into a more living way of expressing themselves and getting themselves really involved in whatever the research is, it becomes personal.
It's so much fun that you don't even realize that you're actually doing work.
Students roll up their sleeves on projects on their own time after school, and people are noticing. This public service announcement about using a cell phone while driving got the attention of Durham's first selectman. The town of Durham hired them to produce segments for their Destination Durham program on public access TV. It's real-world work before they get out of high school.
I'm learning what I'm capable of doing, and I learned that there's some stuff that I never thought I'd be able to do that now I can. Put everyone's ideas together and just compromise with everyone and take everyone else's ideas and put them with yours and see what happens.
Jeff Stecker, NBC Connecticut News.
Thank you for the TV Production Club. We will finish this show tonight with some footage from the band and the choir. And again, we promise that we'll have another episode that features our performing artists as well. So this ends another episode of Destination Durham. Thank you for tuning in. And please visit our Facebook page and give us some feedback. We'd love you to give us some more ideas for future programming. Thank you for tuning in, and see you around town.
In the beginning, there was nothing but